Well, good morning, everyone. This morning, we're going to add one more product to the portfolio in your weight loss health journey. And before we do, I just want to kind of set the stage because although we live in one of the most, sorry about that, although we live in one of the most developed countries in the world, um, we here in the United States, especially, we're getting sicker. And like, why is that? Why would we be getting sicker when everything's advancing? And the answer is pretty dead-gum simple. And if you look at this right here, and read it for what it's worth, and then go do your own research, it says that people are fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to health. It blows my mind
Todd, we don't
how
have your screen.
particular people are when I
Todd, we don't
share
have.
a nutritional product with them as they're eating
Hey,
something out of a
Todd,
bag or a box.
Todd,
Or
We
Todd,
don't have your screen.
Todd.
yes.
We don't have your screen. You're not sharing
Okay.
anymore.
My bad. Thank you. Thank you.
Try
Thank you.
again.
Thank you. Okay. Great job, John.
Well, Ken wasn't loud enough. He was trying to get your attention first.
I had my sound turned down. I thought somebody was whispering in my ear. Okay. Now we got it.
And then don't forget to move John's picture at the bottom over. There you go.
So the food industry has all this negative stuff in all of the things we're eating that are known carcinogens. Like I always say, just go Google the ingredients and what you're putting in your mouth, and then cross-reference it in some AI things of your choice, and you will not believe what we're being fed. And then we go treat that with the health industry, which pays no attention to our food. Like if you ever find a doctor that will just slightly mention changing your diet, he's a doctor you need to stick with. But when a doctor tells you that they don't know if changing your diet would help, if adding whatever would help, like find a doctor. Medicine's good. It's especially good in emergency situations, but it's not good to mask lifestyle diseases and keep feeding our body the poison. So most of us are on the drop journey already. One of the homeopathic ingredients stimulates detoxification along with all the other things going on there. But this is a product that seemingly breaks almost everyone's plateau, and it really helps people in their health journey. And the name of this product is called Restoriix. It is one of the absolute best formulated detoxes I've seen in my 35 years in the nutrition world. It's got a lot of things in there that people recognize, like the willow bark activated charcoal. Like go research that by itself. Like that, a lot of people actually get admitted to spas, and that's one of the main things they go in and pull heavy metals and known toxins and pharmaceutical drugs that are stored in fat cells out. It's got ginger out. It's got that apple pectin, which is all stimulates detoxification. The organic spirulina, chlorea, chlorophyll. I've been taking all of that stuff for years independently. Thank God we finally got it in one product. We have to go buy it all individually. But the magic of this product, and we have a patent on this product, and the patent lies in what's called the Austrian zeolite. Again, I always say go research behind what I tell you. Never trust me or anybody else. Like this is all factual stuff in the marketplace. But zeolite is a volcanic ash. We can harvest it here in the United States, and it's still good. But there are some special traits in this zeolite that come out of the country of Austria. And we have a patent on this particular zeolite that we have in the Restoriix here in the United States, and they're now selling around the world. You can actually find it if you really dig deep on Google, Austrian zeolite, and they're able to make some medical claims over there that we're just simply not allowed to do here. But if you're familiar at all with balancing the pH of your extracellular fluids, there's a lot of research out there on the internet about the Austrian zeolite able to help with that. But what I'm going to talk to you about it today is everything we breathe, the water we drink, if you're not drinking highly filtered water, prescription drugs are all toxic, and they all get left over in our fat cells. And if you don't know this fact yet, that this toxicity is really dangerous to us in our blood. So what the body does when it has a toxin, it'll initially run it through the liver, and the liver will store it on what's called the fat on the liver. It's called fatty liver. As a matter of fact, another crazy fact is that fatty liver used to always be associated with drinking too much. But in today's world, there's way more fatty liver issues dealing with sugar and toxicity than there is just from alcohol. So like it's a growing epidemic out here. So once that toxin is put in that fatty liver, then a good working body will eventually get it stored just in a fat cell in the body. So when we start burning fat for energy, these toxins have to be dealt with. So when those fat cells start burning, toxins are released, goes back to the liver, goes back to the fat on the liver. So what we have to do is aid our body in getting this toxicity out. So I encourage everybody on a plateau early on, especially if you've been exposed to radiation, chemo, lots of heavy metals, lots of prescription drugs, you need to do a round of Restoriix. Some people that are more sick might do 2 or 3 months in a row. Generally, a healthy person, maybe once every 3 to 4 months, it would generally be enough. I had a really, really sharp, he's still in the business, but just not as active right now, but internist down in Ormond Beach, Florida. His name was Dr. Mike DiMiego. Some of you that have been around for a while know him. But he used to really talk about it was really, really effective on an empty stomach, either right when you wake up or right before you go to bed. There is one caveat, is that the only thing you have to be aware of is you have to do this 2 hours around taking prescription medications. Otherwise, it'll bind with it and pull it out. But 2 hours before or 2 hours after, you're perfectly fine doing the Restoriix. So before you go to bed, early in the morning, either way, whichever way is best for you. But then the last piece of this puzzle is you have to drink water. We get rid of toxins 3 ways: by deep breathing. Google some deep breathing exercise, hot yoga, there's a number of things you can do, but just Google it. It's free information. Excretion, either going to the restroom, either direction, toxins are released that way. And then the third one is actually the biggest way, and that our body likes to remove all toxins out of our sweat glands. So depending on where you live in the country, you're able to go outside and sweat moving into the late spring, early summertime. And if you're not, it's so important to find like a sauna or red light therapy, something that would stimulate some sweating in your body at least a couple times per week. I'll use Kim Gray as an example. Kim Gray plateaued with me a number of times in her journey she was paralyzed. And I would have her fast, do Restoriix, put a sweatshirt on, and go outside in her front yard and sweat. And she used to get so mad at me for making her do that. But when she did it, it just exploded her weight loss. So I'm just going to show you a couple of examples here. These are all old pictures. I mean, these people have been with me for years and years, but this guy's name's Jim. He lives in Panama City with me. He's a very wealthy guy here in town that owns a big granite company. But when I met Jim, he was a full-blown alcoholic, and Restoriix not only got him off the alcohol, but it detoxified him, and you can see his transformation there. This is a couple in Atlanta, Georgia, and they actually lost 280 pounds combined with us. But Restoriix was so massive in their journey all the way through. Vic, another guy, Ken knows him. He got on the drops with me years and years and years ago. But 125 pounds Vic lost, same thing. Renee, very sick. Her husband was very sick. Both of them got amazing results. Chip Walters is the radio announcer for Middle Tennessee State University. 142 pounds. First time I met him, I showed him the weight loss program over a big cheeseburger in Nashville, Tennessee. And he said that his friend that invited him was eating a salad. He said, I knew something was up the second I was eating a cheeseburger and they were eating a salad. But anyway, 142 pounds later, you can see him there. But we had to Restoriix him every 90 days because he kept plateauing on us. And then this is a football coach I coached with. Reese will know him because he's the head coach down here where Reese is a radio announcer. But that head coach lost about 100 pounds in 6 months, but Restoriix was his number one thing. And then Sid is over in North Carolina with Steve Teglis and Kerry Hicks and that group in the Next 56-Day group. But Sid ended up losing 228 pounds with us. And again, the Restoriix about every 90 days is what kept him breaking his plateau. So that being said, I encourage everybody to use Restoriix. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the probiotic and getting good gut health, which is in combination with getting the toxins out of the body. So back to you, Sarah.
Sarah, did you want me to mention that the
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I think we have one other testimonial too. I was just a little flustered out here.
No, that's okay.
I'll fire away.
Dr. DiMiego also taught me a lot on this product, and because he was an internal medicine doctor, he also was able to use this with diabetes. So when people have sores and they, because of diabetics, they get they lose limbs, they lose toes and so forth. And before that, they could soak their feet or soak the wound in the Restoriix. Now, I had to put it to the test myself. And so in my healthcare company, I have several nurses that have worked for me. And one of my nurses, their son called her, it was late one evening, and he says, "Mom, man, something's wrong with my foot." And he'd been at the river and had sliced it on some rock or something in the river. And so had been home for a few days. He says, "Mom, it's getting worse. I need you to check it out." Well, she's the nurse. So she went over there and she's like, it was turning colors. It looked really bad. She goes, "I need you to go to the, to the hospital." He's like, "I'll go in the morning." And she goes, "Promise me you'll go, but let's soak this in Restoriix." And so she made actually a poultice, and she covered that wound, and well, he soaked it for a little bit. Then she's covered it in the wound. And by the morning, you guys, it was gone. I mean, it was still sore, it was red, but the dark coloring, the infection was drawn out. I've done this other times with different situations, and it will draw out the infection. So it is a great product. And one of the other things that Todd said is, Dr. Jimmy Yuga says it's great to take more on an empty stomach or at night. Well, one of the reasons is because your organs at night are more active, which is one of the reasons why we have to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom. Your kidneys are more active, your liver's more active, and so that's the best time to take it. But you don't have to. You can take it anytime. Just read the bottle and see. Don't do it. You have to wait an hour after you eat. But that is one of the reasons why it's better at night.
Yeah, Todd, and this zeolite, folks, if you put it under like a microscope, it looks like a sponge or a honeycomb, and it's simply traveling through the body and attracting these toxins to then rid it. And it's the best zeolite available in the world, as Todd said.
Yeah, there is one other person that just came on, Jerry Wyndham. Are you able to share real quick being able to quit dipping after 40 years on the zeolite and the Restoriix?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, Todd. Yeah, so that was crazy. My insurance ran out, and so I had to get some more insurance. So I called my insurance guy, "What are we going to do?" And he's like, "Well, stop doing tobacco." And I'm like, "Dude, I've been doing it for 40 years. We've tried this before. It don't work." He said, "Well, let's do the best we can." So the next day I had ordered some Restoriix for my hemochromatosis to get the iron out. So, man, I was hitting that stuff twice a day. And it was about a week in, and Allison asked me, says, "Are you dipping back to dipping? Because I'm not ill or mad or any of that kind of stuff." I said, "No, I have no desire to whatsoever." So it literally just took the desire out, or the chemical addiction side of it. It just took that out. Now, there's times I want one, no doubt, but it took that out. And I figured it up. It saved me $13,668 in insurance. So I'm a fan forever.
And you're sure the hemochromatosis, what was going on and how the Restoriix helped that?
Yeah, as a hemochromatosis patient, basically you tend to store iron, which is what my body does. Instead of typically you use about 10 nanograms of iron a day, but for some reason you take in more, and my body will take and store it instead of discard it. So it stores it in the liver, and different organs, joints, and then it finally goes to the brain. So it, as a long-term exposure, it can be pretty hard on somebody. So what this does is it removes heavy metals. And literally, when I went and got a test the other day, the guy's like, because I've been doing my Restoriix, he says, "I can't prescribe it's called a phlebotomy, where you just give blood." He said, "I can't do that because there's no iron in your system." I mean, it literally sweeps your system clean of all the heavy metals. It really does a fantastic job. Nothing like anything I've tried before, and I've tried a bunch of them over the past 30 years.